So today we got Concept Orange. This is a mid-engine twin-turbo V8 capable of well over 1,000 horsepower. So let's talk to the owner and find out more about it.
Hey, my name is Mark. I'm here with my crazy twin-turbo big block pickup truck, and I'm here with Bruce at East Coast Garage.
Where's the seatbelts?
No.
No seatbelts?
Once you get it running, you don't worry about seatbelts.
Okay. So yeah, obviously this is the first thing that catches most people's attention is a mid-engine V8 with twin turbos on it. You don't see this every day.
Yeah, it's kind of different, and I wanted to build something different and something cool. And what I like about it is actually people walk up and you can see the engine. You can see all this mechanical junkie. You see the stainless drag boat headers with the, with the turbos. You see all this, goofy intercooler piping, and
It's not as loud as I thought it'd be either.
and them turbos, they calm it down.
Yeah, and everyth's in the back too. So
Yeah, people outside of it, they go, man, I heard those turbos and all this stuff. You really kind of can't hear it here unless you really floor it. And the pop-off thing, makes a noise, but
do you know what turbos these are?
yeah, they're 66s, Port Warners.
Okay.
And I built this thing to drive around, believe it
Yeah.
or not. I mean, I didn't want to, 598 in it, and a bunch of big turbos were sucking gas. It's got a 750 CFM blow-through with a carburetor. It'll only handle probably 1,000 or 1,100 maybe,
Yeah.
And I haven't even tuned it up yet. I just got it running pretty good, like usual. Give it a little gas. That was about I don't even think it was 4 pounds, but as far as the motor itself, it's nothing crazy. It's your typical big block, 427, 60 over, a 9-to-1 motor, carbureted, intercooled, Rodex heads, steel crank, H-beam rods. Nothing super crazy. It's got a shorty power glide like from a dragster on it. That way I had enough room to put a little bit of a drive shaft in. I tried to make it so you could really just go get gas. You can go get gas at a gas station. I can go somewhere and just pull in and get gas and roll them. I don't have to bring my, big thing of race gas with me like a lot of people do. Just the 427 itself without the boost, you're used to a little bit. It's nothing,
Right.
But when them turbos kicked in when I was at Outer Banks, man, I mean, it got up to where it is. I have a cutoff at about 7 pounds. It felt like the front wheels were coming off the ground at 50.
Wow.
I mean, it was making me laugh. I was just driving around flooring it,
Yeah.
People were laughing. This thing started, and I guess that's the reason why it's called Concept, is because the body parts are from 10 different vehicles. These are from a 4-door 28 Plymouth running boards here. You got 53 Ford rear fenders, and they're turned backwards. They're turned backwards also, the running boards. This running board actually was on this side of the car. 52 Ford cab, I don't know, a couple little things in the front. This hood is made out of the 52 Ford cab, just cut up and bent a little bit. We got a 54 Chevy hood emblem, just for kicks. I mean, it adds a little bit of spice to it. One of the coolest things, and probably one of the reasons why I built the truck, is it's got a Divco milk truck front grille, which you don't find too often. They're like really rare, actually. I saw this grill this guy had, and I'm like, that grill belongs on a vehicle. So I just started building this thing, I had to tweak this metal here to fit this hood, this curve here.
Right, yeah.
And I had to make sure this Divco grill was sloped back just enough where it wouldn't look too funky. So, you just play with stuff, and that's what's kind of fun about it, because you're using your creativity.
Yeah.
But when I found this grill, pretty much that was like the start of it. I just love that grill.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
And I thought it had to go on something. They're like, I don't know, it's just a cool looking grill.
Yeah, and I like the gray with the orange too. The offset is nice.
Pair of 38 aftermarket headlights. Front fenders are kind of goofy. They're like they're just mini motorcycle fenders. So they're nothing special. They fit this 26-inch tire, and that's what they're for, a 26-inch tire. I made mounts on it where they turn with the spindles. So when you turn the wheel, the fender turns, as you can see.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because that's tight.
And we got a front bumper that's cut up a little bit off of a 40s Mercury. We seem to argue it's a ribbed bumper. We're not really sure what year it is. Some guy just had it in the garage and I said, I can put that on something.
I love these taillights. What are these taillights off of?
Taillights are from a 58 Cadillac. And
Okay.
at first I put one on there and that was just, it wasn't enough. So I had to put another one, 2 on each side.
Yeah.
So 58 Caddy taillights makes it look a little bit like a rocket ship or something. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, a rocket ship with a 1928 Ford bumper. And then you got a spoiler that I don't, it's not off any particular thing. It's just a, sports car spoiler, carbon fiber spoiler.
Yeah. I like the concept orange here on the back too.
My wife thought that up.
Yeah, that's nice.
We were trying to think of a name and it kind of fitted a little bit, so it's on there.
Yeah. The carbon fiber fender wells, these are really nice, man. And I like the carbon fiber.
Yeah, I bought the carbon fiber piece that goes over the trans-cooler. I just bought a sheet of that, but my buddy has a couple really nice race cars and one of them was totaled. And I got these off of that and cut them up and kind of made them fit on there. So it's just your 8.8 Ford rear, Mosier axles, homemade 4-link on it, QA1 shocks, Aeromotive gas tank and Aeromotive in-tank pump. When I built the truck, I was actually building it as a rat, and I wasn't going to paint it. I was going to leave all the parts the color they were. My friend here, of course, he's got a paint shop. He's like, well, why don't you paint it? Because it'll look way better. So
I love the orange also. It's almost like a burnt orange.
that's what we're looking for, and
Yeah.
it's some. Of course, Justin knows.
Yeah, so Justin painted this. We're actually gonna film his 54 GMC next week. Super beautiful truck. I love what he did with the two-tone paint on it and everything. But he did a really good job with this also. It's just a loud color, a crazy build like this needs to be a crazy color. So,
Yeah, and this is, I'd say, pretty nice, but for Justin, this is just a slap job.
right, yeah.
I mean, he's that good, so I was building this and I would take him the fenders and he would paint them. It wasn't even painted at the same time.
Yeah.
So we were
That's
just
impressive.
And I just put the parts on,
And this thing can't weigh a whole lot either.
It's there's no pickup bed, no big frame in the front. It's not that heavy.
Not a lot to it, really.
Yeah, it's a big block with aluminum heads, aluminum intake though.
And
The turbos are heavy though with all that
Oh, yeah.
crap.
And this thing rides very smooth. I'm blown away at how good it rides.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to drive it around.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
Like when you're riding around corners and all, you feel like you're in like a Ferrari or something,
I don't know if I'd want to hit hard corners without seatbelts at least, but it's all right. You only live once.
Yeah, you're too young to die yet. Wait till you get older, you might change that opinion.
You're like, I don't need seatbelts.
Yeah, and with a 2-speed, you never have the good gear, but
Oh yeah, it's got a power glide.
Power Glide.
Yeah.
It's a shorty dragster Power Glide. It's like 18 inches long.
Nice. So there's some more weight savings there too. Yeah.
Power Glides are light.
And you got aluminum heads. Yeah, I'd be real curious to see what it weighs. Either way, I know it's got a good power to weight ratio.
And you can see the frame too. It's just a homemade frame. Tried to make it look like an old funny car ladder frame. Oh yeah, this whole thing is homemade in the garage. So for all you guys that watch all those goofy car shows when everybody's slapping new parts on it, if you get in your garage and just get your skills together with some equipment, this is all homemade in my garage. There's nothing crazy about it. The frame, it took a little bit of drawing on a piece of paper to make sure the trans and everything worked together, but in reality, I just welded up everything and then took it to a powder coating shop, and they did a really nice job powder coating it, so it looks professional. It hides a lot on your welds too.
Yeah, this thing's pretty long too, huh?
Yeah, I think it's like a 144 wheelbase.
Okay.
I just kind of guessed it with the motor, figured out how long the trans was going to be and how long I wanted the drive shaft to be.
Right.
And now that I'm where I am, I probably would like to make it, I would have made it a little bit shorter, but that's what it is
Yeah.
when you're making something goofy. It's a Mustang 2 geometry front end, but the front cross member, for instance, I mean, you can make your own. A friend of mine was throwing out a an engine crane, little thing. 3-inch square tubing, 1/4-inch thick. So I put that to use. I built the whole cross member out of that,
wow.
heavy duty cross member. And
Yeah, that's cool.
you know, so
Use what you got.
use what you got, and you know, you don't have to spend $1 zillion on it.
Speaking of which, this thing looks like it has $1 zillion in it. How much do you think a build like this would cost someone to do from the ground up?
You know, what I had already, actually mostly all the metal I had was from previous working on things. So me, myself, and I mean, I would say somewhere around 30 grand. But if somebody went to get somebody to do it, you might be 230.
Yeah,
Because, you know, they're going to be building this and chassis might be 50 and you're going to change your mind and I want this body part, and you know how much body work costs. You know,
oh yeah.
You know, then you have to figure out how everything fits.
Right.
It takes so much more time.
Yeah.
It's not like you have a muscle car and you're getting a new fender and maybe that fender doesn't work perfect and you tweak it a little.
Yeah. So how long did this build take?
Approximately 4 years, but in reality, doing other things and putting it on the shelf a couple times, it was really about 1.5 years.
Okay.
So it wasn't,
That's pretty good.
It wasn't crazy hard, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, the hard part was, you know, you'll put a part on, you'll put it on there and get back and look at it and you're like, that doesn't look so good. And so you do change a few times. It's not like you just slap it together.
Well, I love it, dude. It's my favorite thing that I've seen. I'm pretty sure.
I appreciate it. When you put something together and people, you know, it can bring a smile to people's faces, and you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. The car community is together and people get a kick out of it. I mean, that's what it's all about, you know what I mean? So,
and hopefully it helps bring inspiration to people also. So you don't have to be a millionaire, but it's going to take a while. Don't expect to do it overnight.
Yeah, you got to be that type of person that actually can deal with long-term goals. You can't be an instant gratification type of person. You're not going to be able to build something like this. But if you do, you know, the reward is huge, you know, I mean, because you don't see things like this around. And when somebody does something and you can appreciate what it took, it makes me happy that really car guys that are, you know, like Bruce and other people that are really, they understand how much work it is and they don't see things like this often and they go, wow, that's kind of crazy.
I met Mark at OBX Rods and Customs and there were over 1,000 cars there. Pro Street cars, cars with 2 superchargers on them, all kinds of beautiful classics. As far as the eye could see, when I saw this one, it stood out amongst the rest because there's nothing like it. Like I said, one reason why I wanted to film it too is we see the Camaros, we see the Mustangs, the Chevelles, the Novas. They're all beautiful. I love them and I can't wait to film more. But I just love filming something that I've never even thought of before myself.
You just made this what you wanted it to be. You didn't buy it this way. You didn't see another one done just like this. I like the creativity in it. You did a really good job.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I only like wacky stuff because you just see the same thing over and over. Me being my age, some of the, you know, the muscle car thing, I love them, but they don't get to me like they used to. It's got to be something different, something crazy.
Yeah.
So that's all I like, really.
Well, thanks for showing us this
brother.
crazy build, man.
I appreciate it.
Great job, Mark.
Appreciate it.
And thank you all for checking out this video. Next week, we're going to film that 1954 GMC step side, so we'll see you in that one.